My name is Allison Laxa and I'm currently stationed in Millington, Tennessee. For my video presentation, I will uncover how World War II rationing had affected everyday lives of Tennessee residents during this era and how they adjusted their cooking, transportation, and shopping habits to support the war and contribute to unity countrywide. The goal of this presentation is to reveal the realities of wartime rationing faced by residents, family, and businesses in the state of Tennessee. During World War II, the federal government created the National Rationing System to ensure there were enough supplies and resources for American troops fighting overseas. Some of the items that were rationed were meat, sugar, butter, coffee, gasoline, shoes, and tires. These items were limited due to wartime production and transportation needs. The rationing system was managed through the establishment of the Office of Price Administration. The federal government organized the Office of Price Administration to manage rationing laws and enforce compliance across the country. The system was organized through ration books and stamps that civilians used to purchase a certain amount of items each month to prevent shortages. The rationing was necessary to make sure there were enough essential goods for the military while also distributing scarce resources fairly among civilians. Rationing prevented people from stockpiling products, and it helped keep prices from rising due to high demands, but with limited number of supplies. This ration book was issued to Margaret D. Avery, a Tennessee resident, by the Office of Price Administration, showing how Tennessee residents had to use stamps to purchase everyday necessities such as sugar, gasoline, coffee, meat, and shoes. This ration book also included a message encouraging citizens to salvage tin cans and waste fats, to participate in recycling efforts to support wartime production. Tennessee communities used local ration boards, staffed by volunteers, to issue ration books, explain regulations, and help citizens understand how to use ration stamps efficiently. Local businesses and consumers adapted rationing in so many ways. For instance, to save tires and gasoline, Tennessee has invoked a 35-mile speed limit, which made traveling harder, but it's something residents have to adapt to. Travel was discouraged, and the state had signs all over that said, "Is your trip necessary?" This salvage drive photo, taken in Knoxville, Tennessee, shows how citizens on the Homefront contributed by donating materials that could be reused for military production. This photograph highlights the sacrifices civilians made at home to support American soldiers overseas, and it also shows that rationing in Tennessee extended beyond food shortages and greatly affected transportations, tires, and other everyday necessities. Since gasoline was rationed at only 4 gallons a week, most residents had to figure out how to pace themselves. When their gasoline stamps ran out, they would resort to riding the bus, carpooling, or walking. Residents had to adapt with monthly visits to the ration board office to retrieve their ration stamps book. This Homefront Tennessee essay was written by Mrs. Melville, who was also known as Catherine R. Barnes during the World War II timeframe. She wrote this essay to share about her experiences of rationing in her hometown in Tennessee. Her perspective helps readers better understand what life was like for ordinary women and families during the war, and how they adapted to changes. Due to shortage of butter and other dairy products, families made their own recipes to make desserts and had to learn ingredient substitutions. After harvesting vegetables from their victory garden, residents would can and preserve these vegetables to make them last longer and to help save their ration points. Local businesses repaired and reused equipment instead of buying new ones, and owners participated in promoting conservation and fair distribution of scarce products. Everyone who had space had Victory Garden, where they mostly grow their vegetables. Tennessee had established community campaigns where they gave plots in vacant properties or public parks to those who live in apartments. This newspaper clipping from Michigan closely aligns with rationing in Tennessee during World War II because it shows how communities across the United States were encouraged to support the war effort through victory gardens and food conservation, as it emphasized community responsibility, patriotism, and self-sufficiency. Women organizations were established because women were often responsible for household purchasing. Educational programs in the state focus on teaching families how to budget ration points, conserve food, and follow price control regulations. In this video interview with Margaret Sanders, a Tennessee native and a member of Nashville Council of Garden Clubs, discusses the benefits of community programs. Her involvement in persuading the Board of Education to allow the use of public school kitchens for food preservation classes demonstrates how Tennessee residents prioritized self-sufficiency during World War II. Sanders' efforts help families learn to grow and preserve their own fruits and vegetables, which highlights cooperation within the community. Shortages have severely affected daily lives, but Tennessee residents responded with a strong sense of patriotism and cooperation. They believe these sacrifices would help support American troops and contribute to victory in the war. The community's experience reveals that the national wartime effort depended not only on soldiers fighting overseas, but also on ordinary citizens making sacrifices at home. Tennessee residents demonstrated resilience by adapting to shortages of food, gasoline, tires, and consumer goods without giving up. Families learned to stretch limited supplies, repair items instead of replacing them, and adjust their daily routines to comply with rationing rules. They also showed creativity through efforts such as planting victory gardens, preserving and canning food, sharing rides to conserve gasoline, and finding substitutes for scarce products. This research has been an eye-opener for me as it highlights how ordinary people work together in adapting during a difficult period in American history. It also allows me to learn more about my new home state and its experiences during World War II. And I hope you did too. So thank you so much for watching.